All right. Hi, Harold. We're back.
All right.
We're going to find out how your computer's doing. The last things that let's see, we've done 3 videos already trying to
Wow.
deal with the situation where your laptop, when it goes into sleep mode, you weren't able to wake it up again. We went through several things we went through several things of things that I thought were likely sources of trouble. And that didn't work. Those methods didn't work, but we got through a lot of different ways to try to troubleshoot pretty much any kind of a problem. And then we started throwing mud at it
Yeah.
to see what would stick on the wall.
Well, I
Did
think that's what eventually fixed it.
Yeah.
So
So
I don't think we have a positive aha that this is exactly what fixed it, but we have some pretty good ideas.
yeah. So what I recollect that we did last, and we could go back to the video and make sure, but what I recollect we did is we the power settings, there was the one setting that would turn your screen off, and then another setting that would put it into sleep mode. So initially, I think that blanking the screen or turning the screen power off was set at 10 minutes, and the sleep mode was set at 20 minutes. And we had tried a couple things with that, with making changes there, and it did not seem to help. And then the last thing that we did is we went into Device Manager and we turned off the power management for every device in the Device Manager that had a power management tab on the device driver. And at the same time, we turned off the screen blanking, but we left the sleep setting active. Is that your recollection of what we did then?
Yes. And then I went back later and changed the screen blanking, and it still worked. So the
Yes.
screen does blank. I think I set it for about 3 minutes.
Okay. So that's the
And
piece we haven't stated yet in this video, is that when we made that group of changes, then you were able to wake it up from sleep mode consistently for several days.
right, well, it's been working fine ever since.
Yeah. So when you first reported to me through a text message that it's working properly, at that point you then took the next step of reactivating the screen blanking. So at that point you had the screen blanking and sleep mode back to approximately what they were originally. Do you know if the number of minutes is the same as you originally had?
Let me go look at my notes.
I think it was 10 minutes for the screen blanking and 20 for the sleep. And I had the unlikely theory that maybe a specific number was a problem, but I don't really believe that much.
It just seemed to me that when we went in and changed those power settings, that's really
Yeah.
what fixed it.
Now we actually started first. We targeted some power management settings that I suspected would could cause the problem, and that did not help.
Right.
So then we just went in, and that's where we threw mud at it. Is turned off the
Wholesale,
power management for everything.
just wholesale changed them. Yeah.
Yeah, and I have seen situations where making a change to a device driver or some setting that seems totally unrelated to the symptom actually fixes the symptom. And that may or may not be the case. If a person felt sufficiently curious or motivated, they could go back and like reactivate half of those power settings and see if the problem returns, and whether it does or doesn't, that would determine what the next step would be to try to narrow down the specific setting that makes a difference. However, I have also come across situations where it's a combination of settings that actually cause the trouble. So it can be very difficult to get back to the exact source of the trouble. And also another piece that I've seen, I've come across situations where there's a problem symptom and the solution from the software manufacturer or from the hardware manufacturer, they say, go remove this check mark, then put it back on, and it will be fine forever.
Oh, well,
Where it's just like
reboot.
yeah, kicking it, and then it never gives you trouble again. So yeah, I mean, it's entirely possible you could go back and fix all of those settings back to the way they were originally, and you still might not have the problem. So in terms of my work as a computer consultant for my clients, I would not ever go back and try to track it down that way as a billable time charge to my client. But I have had occasions when I go back just because I'm a little OCD curious sometimes. So are you inclined to just call this a win and let it go and move forward, or are you curious?
Absolutely. I'm all into winning
Okay.
because it works like it's supposed to, and I'd hate to try to recreate a problem and maybe cause another one.
Yeah. So the real bottom line purpose for this video then is to declare that for your computer having that particular symptom of where it would go to sleep and you couldn't wake it up, the solution was to disable the power management settings on every device driver that has a power management option.
I would agree with that, and it's better than the Google support that just recommended using the power button to put it into a rest mode.
Yeah, they were going advising you to use hibernate mode.
Hibernate, that was the word.
Yeah, instead of sleep. And the reason why we didn't like that is because hibernate mode takes longer to get into and longer to get out of than what sleep mode does. So
yeah, it's pretty responsive now. I mean, when the screen wakes up, if it's not been more than 20 minutes, which I know that's when the hard drive shuts down, then it wakes up pretty quick. I mean, it's just a matter of swiping the notepad, and the screen comes right on.
Yeah.
And it's ready to go.
Yeah. Okay, so are we done? Want to wrap this up?
I would be plenty satisfied with wrapping it up.
Well, I invite you to contact me again if you're interested in doing another one of these, because I'd really like to get more of these videos done where I help people with computer issues for free. You have actually paid me for help with computer issues before, if I recall, right?
I have.
You have. And there may be other people who stumble across this video, and I want to make it very, very clear that I prefer to have you come and do this with me for free to create the video rather than do a chargeable item. There's been a few other people in our circle of friends within the aviation community who has done this with me too.
You know, we've gone back a ways, so this was before you started doing the videos.
Oh, right. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So this is a new thing. You're one of the first handful of people who have ventured into this with me, so I thank you kindly.
All right. I have one other question. I don't know if you want to keep the video going or ask it off the video.
Okay, I'll go ahead and do a invitation for other people to contact me, and then I'll come back to you, okay? So just hang on for a minute. So there we are, finished with Harold's issue. There's an email address on your screen right now. If you'd like to request a session with me, it's free to provide whatever computer support that you might need. DougBetts at LiveWindowsTraining. Just give me an idea in the email what you'd like to have help with, and we'll put it together. So I hope this was useful to you. Have a great day. Catch you later. Goodbye.